The 90s were a treasure trove of epic fantasy movies, and while some have faded into obscurity, they're still worth dusting off for a rewatch. Here are some of the hidden gems that'll transport you back to a time of magic, adventure, and some truly questionable special effects. Warriors of Virtue. Ryan, a differently abled child, is unable to join sports or befriend other children at school. However, his perception of life changes when he is thrown into a magical realm after an accident. The Page Master. A cowardly boy who buries himself in accident statistics enters a library to escape a storm, only to be transformed into an animated illustration by the Page Master. He has to work through obstacles from classic books to return to real life. Kull the Conqueror. An uncivilized warrior becomes a king when he trounces a king in armed combat. The king's heirs, however, plot to dethrone the new king and reclaim the throne by restoring to life a wicked sorceress. Spawn, a superhero film based on the Image Comics character of the same name. An elite assassin, Al, is killed by his sinister boss, Jason. Al, however, signs a deal with the devil and returns to Earth, where he is forced to choose between goodness and evil. The Never-Ending Story. 3. Escape from Fantasia. After his father remarries, Bastian has trouble dealing with hostile stepsister. At school, Bastian is bullied by Skip and his pals. Retreating to the library, he runs into old Mr. Coriander and again starts reading The Never-Ending Story, the book that transports him to Fantasia. Trouble ensues when Skip finds the volume and begins destroying the fantasy kingdom, forcing Bastian to return to the real world to stop him. Little Nemo. Adventures in Slumberland. Each night, young Nemo goes to Slumberland and has adventures and befriends the king of Slumberland, Morpheus. But one night, Nemo discovers Nightmare Land and the evil Nightmare King, throwing Slumberland and Nemo himself into danger. Mortal Kombat: Annihilation. Liu Kang and his friend win the deadly battle tournament and win it. Their celebration is spoilt when Shao Kahn from the outside world decides to invade Earth. Largely adapted from the 1995 video game Mortal Kombat 3, Annihilation follows Liu Kang and his allies as they attempt to prevent the malevolent Shao Kahn from conquering Earthrealm. Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood. Rafe Gutman, a private investigator, is hired by a repressed young woman to find her missing brother. His search leads him to a bordello run by a 1,000-year-old vampire. Quest of the Delta Knights is a 1993 fantasy adventure sword and sorcery film that was featured in a September 1998 episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It is one of only a few movies shown on MST3K that were made in the 1990s. The plot is pretty simple. A young peasant boy becomes a squire to a noble knight and discovers an evil plot by the oppressive ruler of the land. The Borrowers. Pete and his parents are in trouble when a lawyer plans to destroy their house to build a complex. However, a family of miniature people who also live in the house resolve to save it at all costs.